tonight, a closer look at the efforts to track down a missing Regina child. City councillors weigh a final decision on a potential takeover for a part of the Real District. And the latest on the flooding situation across Saskatchewan.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Lee is away tonight. A Regina boy is safely home tonight, thanks to a search and rescue effort coordinated by the Regina Police Service and helped by members of the public. Mick Favel has more.
An 8-year-old boy who went missing from a Regina school is safe after a significant search by Regina Police Service and community members. The Regina Police Service first received the call around 12:20 p.m. that an 8-year-old boy who was nonverbal was missing and last seen at school near the 200 block of Hamilton Street. The boy was not dressed for the cool weather and there was significant concern for his safety. Police set up a command center and pulled in additional resources for the search. A special program used for missing persons was also booted up. The program gave a detailed zoning map of where the child might have gone and when. Video surveillance played a part in the efforts, leading the search in the correct direction as well. At approximately 5:48 p.m., the child was found near the intersection of Ross Avenue and Winnipeg Street, well over 1.5 kilometers away from where he was last seen. He was taken to hospital to be checked and was released in good conditions. 80 officers were involved in the search, as well as community partners who put out the call. A number of tips were also called in, which helped in the search. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Regina City Council is locked in discussion over a deal by the Brandt Group of companies to buy some of the Real District and take over operations of the Regina Exhibition Association. Donovan Mace takes us inside Henry Baker Hall.
This is not simply a transaction. It's a turning point.
Brandt owner Sean Semple proposing a $6.5 million deal to buy a large portion of the Real District from the city, back in front of councillors for a second time in hopes of finalizing the sale.
After the deal is approved, we're in the show business. That's the thing, that we need to be active in that and working with Hotel Association and others to actually bring them here, help identify, help look at what are the gaps that we have.
A second mayor throwing his support behind the deal.
The Real Board of Directors, acting on behalf of the city, has had a large number of successes over the years. But the business model doesn't work anymore.
While more questions swirl about the proposal from residents.
So based on the information I have, I don't think this is the best deal that they could have made, and that council should be involved sooner in this.
But similar to last week's meeting, most of those speaking in front of council were asking for the takeover to go ahead.
It's going to be important for our young people, for them to continue to call this place home.
Now, should the deal receive council approval tonight, Brandt will begin taking possession of the assets in phases, the first by July 1st and the rest before the fall. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
And we're continuing to follow that meeting. You can follow along on ctvnews.ca/Regina. Former NDP MLA Betty Nippy Albright says her sudden departure from the opposition caucus yesterday was due to her feeling muzzled over the Compassionate Intervention Act, a newly passed law that will force seriously addicted people into treatment. Nippy Albright says she commissioned a report critical of the bill, but was told by NDP leader Carla Beck not to talk about that report in the legislature. Wayne Mantika has the details. It
was the last straw for former NDP MLA Betty Nippy Albright.
Well, the issue is this. I had prepared, based on this report, my response in Bill 48. And the directive was given to me by the leader to not make any reference to this report.
The bill allowing apprehension and involuntary treatment of those severely addicted passed in the legislature this week. A study commissioned for Betty Nippy Albright warned that the legislation as drafted creates a heightened and foreseeable risk of selective racialized enforcement. It drew a parallel to residential schools policy. The NDP voted against the bill, but Betty Nippy Albright suggests the party leader's views mirror those of the government.
Her statement about opposing Bill 48 has been performative when at the same time she has repeatedly stated she supports forced treatment.
Nippy Albright's departure to sit as an independent MLA caught the NDP by surprise.
I'm surprised because we moved 17 amendments to change the bill based on that study that Ms. Nippy Albright commissioned.
The NDP has lost a strong voice in the area of mental health and addictions. Reconciliation seems unlikely at this point. Betty Nippy Albright says she has no plan to return to the party, while NDP leader Carla Beck says trust has been broken. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Trade representatives from Canada, the United States, and Mexico are in Regina this week for a tri-national conference. The Premier delivered the keynote address at the North America Strategy for Competitiveness annual Continental Reunion on Wednesday. In his speech, Mo also addressing recent trade tensions between Canada and the U.S., emphasizing the importance of the economies of all three countries working together.
And the reality is this, that our economies, Canada, the United States, and Mexico, are deeply integrated, and they're integrated for a reason, a very important reason. This integration is what underpins North America's food, energy, and manufacturing security.
Around 150 senior political and business leaders attend the annual conference, which rotates host cities between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. The conference wraps tomorrow. The RM of Lakeside, north of the Quill Lakes, is dealing with the aftermath of severe spring flooding, one of many areas facing floodwater right now. Hallie Mandrick takes us there.
This body of water used to be Leslie Fetter's backyard, but many of his possessions now sit underwater thanks to the significant flooding which has impacted many in the Watson area.
You can see how the water got about 30 feet from the house by the shoreline, all the grass and reeds that are left over there. There was concern. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of water and you can't control it.
One of many communities under a state of local emergency due to the flooding, Watson is feeling the impacts of Saskatchewan's late snow melt.
No, it's going to be a lot of work to get things back to where it was and get things cleaned up and looking half decent again, but
the flooding has also been top of mind for emergency service workers like the Watson Fire Department.
There was a threat on Sunday morning. It went over the highway here west of town, and it was like, okay, we got to do something so our town doesn't flood. So basically at that point we set up detours, closed the highway down so no travelers were in jeopardy of getting hurt or anything. And then, from there it's basically you monitor, right? Mother Nature kind of does what she wants. And
down the road, Quill Lake has been under a state of local emergency since last Friday after severe flooding has left a series of roads in and around the community impassable.
No, this is the highest water levels I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've heard stories that maybe it's been as high or higher before, but I've never seen it.
Friesen says 54 separate sites in the area have either been completely washed out or damaged.
The majority of our grids have been impacted, so a lot of them have been closed down. We were running around trying to find routes where people could get from home to town or kids to school and stuff like that on the week or for Monday, and it was a real struggle. Like, it added probably 50-60 miles for some people.
While the flooding has caused a number of problems for the communities, Fetter says he's just thankful that everyone is safe.
Everybody's still standing, the house is still here, and like I said, now we can go fishing in the backyard if I want to.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, RM of Lakeside.
Elsewhere in east central Saskatchewan, the RM of Good Lake near Canola is still underwater, driven by recent snowmelts. The road closure on Highway 5 is now lifted, but water near Buchanan is moving towards Patterson and Good Spirit Lakes, covering parts of Highway 47. Some area back roads were cut in order to allow the water to move faster. The community was hit by devastating flooding in 2010 and 2011, after which some changes were made. But the Reeves says raising the culverts remains a divisive topic. The current washout caught the RM by surprise, and they expect some level of erosion to the nearby sand dunes.
And by Sunday afternoon, there was water being released out of the lake. But in the meantime, the level of the lake did increase quite a bit. And so that was the one very major flood event that we had to minimize.
Last weekend, the RM hired a steamer to thaw Good Spirit Lake's control gates in order to release water into the nearby White Sand River. The RM is monitoring the situation and will discuss the flooding issue during their regular council meeting on Monday. Moving to the Prince Albert area, the RM of Buckland issued an evacuation order late last night for several properties in the Shell River Heights area south of Highway 3. To help mitigate damage from the flooding, Buckland Fire and Rescue, along with community volunteers, have spent hours at the Red River roping and riding arena, making sandbags to bring into high-risk areas. Volunteers began work on Monday.
So we've been taking them out to Wapayton, and we've been taking them out to Shell River Heights right now, because that's where the most flooding is happening.
The RM says further updates will be provided through official emergency communication channels. Sabine Ahmed joins us for our first look at the forecast in southern Saskatchewan. Sabine, again, we've continued to see this flooding play out in many areas of the province, even having an emergency alert test called off today due to some of the real evacuations and emergencies taking place.
Yeah, and the reality is it doesn't matter how much sunshine we're going to see. It's going to take quite a while for that moisture to all dry up, Cole. But, I mean, the good news is we're starting to see warmer temperatures and a lot more sunshine. As of right now, not expecting to see much in terms of precipitation, except on Friday, where we could see a little bit of storm activity. But other than that, we are continuing to see some very warm temperatures. Now, may not have seen those very warm temperatures today, depending on where you were in the province. We warmed up to about 11 degrees in the Regina area versus the average, which is about 16, 17 degrees. But as we approach the weekend, starting tomorrow, we'll start to see those temperatures get closer to that seasonal and then climb above seasonal by the time we get to Friday. Not a whole lot to show you on the radar satellite when it comes to active weather. Again, it was mostly a sunny day. Winds much calmer than the last 2 days we've seen. But I'll have more details in your full forecast. Cole?
All right, thanks, Sabine. And staying with flooding in Saskatchewan, excess water has left a local food bank in Meadow Lake dealing with yet another setback. As CTV's Laura Woodward shows us, the damage is just one of many problems with the aging building.
Earl Gower has been relying on the Meadow Lake Soup Kitchen for 4 years.
I usually come here and have dinner every day.
He's one of about 100 people Meadow Lake Outreach Ministries feeds each day.
What would you like?
And he returns the favor, helping with cleanup.
Because they help me, I can help them.
Behind the soup kitchen is the food bank. Just last week, it was underwater.
It was a lot of water.
The flooding was triggered by a heavy spring snow melt and made worse by an aging building with poor drainage.
We took mops, we took vacuums, we tried to do whatever we could. We took buckets.
Staff rushed in to save supplies as city crews ran pumps inside.
We tried to get things dry as fast as we could.
The water damage has worsened existing black mold. It's the latest problem with this 90-year-old building.
And unfortunately, we have to put this blanket up here so we can block the cold from coming through this door and also the walls.
No matter where you look, it's falling apart. So we're between really needy and desperate.
And the flood may just be the tipping point, pushing the nonprofit toward a new build.
I'm just hoping and praying that we can get a new building. We really need it.
Right now, it's just a vacant lot, but Meadow Lake City Council has given the green light for the food bank to move here. The plan is to build a bigger space designed to help more people in need.
We're at this point talking two-story with offices basically upstairs. Downstairs would be the kitchen in the front and the food bank in the rear. And we're just toying with the idea of having perhaps some laundry facilities.
And a new, larger food bank has Gower's support.
Oh, I think it would be wonderful. This place is old, like me.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Meadow Lake.
A 14-year-old boy is one of two people charged in a Saskatoon crash that critically injured an 82-year-old man. Police say a stolen SUV crossed into oncoming traffic on Idlewild Drive yesterday, hitting the van. Corman Park police were trying to stop the SUV, but it took off from officers. The 14-year-old is facing charges of dangerous driving causing bodily harm, failure to stop after an accident, and evading police. He and a 24-year-old man also face a charge of possessing stolen property over $5,000. The 82-year-old man remains in hospital. More than 102,000 surgical procedures were carried out in Saskatchewan in the last fiscal year, according to the province. That's an increase of more than 2,100 procedures from the previous year as the province works through its backlog. Expanded capacity, robot-assisted surgeries, and private partnerships are all credited as factors, along with changes to scheduling, referrals, and patient preparation. Still ahead, the findings of an investigation on whether ChatGPT's training violated Canada's privacy laws, and the latest on a cruise ship off the African coast dealing with a major outbreak of hantavirus. An investigation into popular AI assistant ChatGPT has found that the company behind it, OpenAI, violated privacy laws across the country. CTV's Judy Trin has more on the indictment from Canada's information and privacy watchdogs.
After an investigation that took 3 years, privacy commissioners from the federal government, BC, Alberta, and Quebec found that OpenAI violated privacy laws across the country as it developed its ChatGPT technology.
Our joint investigation highlights the importance of prioritizing privacy in the development, deployment, and ongoing evolution of artificial intelligence.
The joint investigation looked at ChatGPT's 3.5 and 4.0 models and found a lack of accountability. The models over-collected personal information. Users weren't asked for consent, false information was found in searches, and users couldn't correct the info.
To initially train ChatGPT, OpenAI scraped vast amounts of personal information from publicly accessible websites. This was widespread and indiscriminate.
Concerns about the lack of safeguards around ChatGPT have made headlines following the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting that showed OpenAI didn't flag troubling interactions to police. The company is facing several class action lawsuits in Canada and the U.S., but government regulation is lagging. Canada's privacy laws were developed more than 20 years ago.
We have also called on our government to regulate AI uses. The kind of regulation would require companies like OpenAI to evaluate the risks of this technology and to mitigate those risks before launch.
OpenAI was collecting sensitive information, such as health data and political views. The privacy watchdog says the company did fix some of those issues in later versions of its ChatGPT. The federal government is in the process of drafting new AI legislation, but for now, it's relying on private companies to police themselves. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Honda is reportedly suspending plans to build an electric vehicle plant in Canada. Financial newspaper Nikkei Asia says slow U.S. demand pushed the Japanese automaker to put the plant on hold indefinitely. Honda was expected to invest $15 billion into the plant, which was slated to start operating as early as 2028. In a statement to CTV News, Honda Canada said the company has nothing to report at this time. Canada's finance minister says he hasn't lost hope about the facility. A cruise ship at the center of a deadly hantavirus outbreak is not allowed to dock in West Africa, but Spain has agreed to accept it, so the ship is now moving north towards Spain's Canary Islands. Earlier today, 3 passengers with suspected hantavirus infections were airlifted to the Netherlands for medical care. They were transported from the ship to Cape Verde before being taken away by plane. The ship still has nearly 150 people on board, including 4 Canadians. Spain's health minister says the country has a moral obligation to help the ship. 3 passengers on board have died after it set sail from Argentina a month ago. The World Health Organization now says there are 8 cases of infection on board. These are desperate times, and desperate times sometimes create desperate acts, prompting some to steal or siphon gas. CTV's Alex Carpa has that story.
Some are turning to unconventional methods to get their hands on fuel, a desperation move with gas prices soaring.
You know, they'll do it right here.
X marks the spot where people drill into fuel tanks with the intention of stealing gas directly from vehicles.
So they'll take a hole saw, they'll drill it in, and they'll stick a pipe in with a transfer pump, and it's done in minutes.
Mechanics have noticed a recent uptick in vehicles coming into their shop with gas tank damage, repairing a couple of cars a month.
It's pretty simple, but it's costly. I mean, we have to take the tank out, which on a lot of vehicles is 2 to 3 hours of labor, and then we have to bring it to a special place where they weld them, and then we put them back in.
And the theft is leaving individuals and businesses out hundreds of dollars.
So this is one of the trucks that was damaged.
Juliana Bartel says 2 of the trucks at her business were recently targeted.
We came to work in the morning and tried to fire up a truck, and it was making some weird sounds, so the guys went underneath the vehicle because we assumed our gas tank was drilled, and that's exactly what had happened.
Siphoning gas is the more traditional way to steal gas from a vehicle, but drilling a hole into the pump directly is a faster method.
It's just such a huge inconvenience.
RCMP say this type of theft is relatively common, especially in rural communities. Their advice, keep your car in a well-lit area and have cameras installed on your property. Similar incidents are also being reported elsewhere. Earlier this year, a suspect in BC's interior drilled into a gas tank and stole fuel from a pickup truck. Thefts like this are also being reported south of the border.
It happens fast, and they're in and out.
As gas prices continue to rise, Jansen says he believes this theft could become a bigger issue. Alex Carper, CTV News in Bloom North, Manitoba.
Officials say 2 people are dead after a Russian drone attack hit a kindergarten in northeastern Ukraine. No children were present when the attack happened, and officials said one of the victims was a security guard. Residents say the attack came in 2 waves, with a second drone hitting the area shortly after the first. 7 people were wounded. Media mogul and CNN founder Ted Turner has died. Turner Enterprises announced the news today, saying Turner died peacefully surrounded by family. The Atlanta businessman and philanthropist built a media empire that included cable channels and sports teams like the Atlanta Braves. He was also an avid environmentalist. Turner had been battling Lewy body dementia in recent years. He was 87. Coming up, a Saskatchewan dancer proving that talent has no limits. How she's finding her rhythm after your forecast.
Centennial Cup set to begin Thursday on Your Morning. We are checking in with Flin Flon Bombers as they start their quest for a National Junior A title.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at your weather. It's nice out. It is nice out. We warmed up to about 11 degrees, not just under 11. It was about 10.7. Just about an hour ago. We're starting to see that temperature come down slightly, but we're still within that 11-degree range. Winds at 20, gusting up to 30, and that was something we also experienced throughout the day. At times, winds were picking up, gusting up to about 30 kilometers an hour, but much nicer than the 50-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts yesterday, and before that up to about 70. So we're slowly starting to see those winds calm, and the temperatures slowly warming up into the seasonal range, and then by Friday we'll see them actually bump up a little warmer than seasonal. Now, again, not a whole lot to show you on our radar satellite. Mostly clear conditions, a little bit of scattered precipitation in the northwest and down in the southeast. Very light scattered rain showers in the area. It's not the end of the rain, of course. I mean, we're heading into summer, so we do have those summer storms that start to make their arrival. We do have a little bit of rain to start your morning in the southwest around the Swift Current area. As of right now, just looks like a very quick system that's going to move through pockets of scattered precipitation. And then heading into Thursday night, continuing to see some scattered showers, clear conditions. But as we head into Friday, that's where we'll see a little bit more rain coming in from Alberta. So you can see it starts Friday morning around the Lloydminster, Prince Albert area. Bigger storm cells expected in that area. The dark green, of course, heavy rainfall. Yellow could lead to that hail, high winds, and then possibly some storm activity obviously created with all those combined together. That system starts at 9 a.m. first thing in the morning on Friday, eventually making its way into late afternoon through the Regina area, through the Saskatoon Wynyard area, and then by late afternoon, that's where we're seeing a risk of some storm activity in the parkland around the Yorkton area specifically. Regina is still expecting to see some rainfall as well, but not heavy rainfall. As of right now, it looks like anywhere between 1 to 3 millimeters of rain, so not heavy rainfall, not a system that's going to be lingering hang around for long. You'll see before the day even ends on Friday, we'll see that system clear out for the most part from Saskatchewan. Still some slight chance of some rain along the eastern border there. In the parkland, and it'll clear out, and by the time we head into Saturday, another sunny day expected, mainly sunny for southern Saskatchewan, and warm temperatures expected to continue as well. Some areas tonight, our lows are still cooler than seasonal. We're seeing those temperatures below zero. Prince Albert -3, -6 for L'Orange, but heading into tomorrow, we're back into seasonal range, if not much warmer. 20 degrees for Lloydminster tomorrow, 13 for La Loche, 10 and cloudy for L'Orange, and 16 and cloudy for Prince Albert, 20 and cloudy for North Battleford, 18 and mostly cloudy for Saskatoon, 15 and mostly cloudy for Yorkton. The clouds will start to see clear out as we head throughout the day. Starting the day out, though, we may see a little bit more cloudier conditions. Maple Creek 21 and a mix of sun and clouds. Swift Current, as we saw on the map, they're expecting some showers tomorrow. 19 is the expected high. 17 in Moose Jaw, cloudy in the southeast. Similar temperatures, 16 actually right across the board. Weyburn, Assiniboia, and Estevan, mostly cloudy conditions in the southeast, but still within that seasonal range. Tomorrow for Regina, 15 is the expected daytime high with a mix of sun and cloud. Winds up to 25 kilometers an hour. A chillier night tonight, -4, but winds actually quite nice, anywhere between 10 to 15 kilometers an hour. And here's a quick look at your next 7 days, and I'd say not too bad. 15 in a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow, 19 and mainly sunny Friday with that chance of some scattered showers in the afternoon on Friday. By Saturday, we're dipping a little cooler than seasonal, but still in the double digits. 13 and mainly sunny. Winds still a little higher up here on Friday and Saturday, but not too bad. By Sunday, mainly sunny, 18, 19, and very windy on Monday. Winds up to 65 kilometers an hour. 19 on Tuesday, mainly sunny, and 19 on Wednesday with a mix of sun and clouds. So we have some very warm days to start your week next week, and even ending out this week, Cole, we're going to see those temperatures bumping above seasonal by Friday.
Happy to see those warmer temperatures arriving, Sabine. Even last night after the sun went down, it was almost instantaneous how quickly it cooled off, and it sounds like we're in for another one tonight. But
that's right.
I'll take that as long as we're getting out of it sooner than later here.
You got it.
Perfect. Thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
A Saskatoon dancer is taking center stage and breaking barriers while she's at it. With more than 2 decades of experience, she's proving that passion and perseverance can redefine what dance looks like. Carla Shinkaruk has more.
From her first moves at just 3 years old, Sherry Turgeon found her rhythm and never missed a beat.
Yeah, I love what I'm able to do. It's a lot of fun. It's my main source of activity.
Her journey has taken her across Canada and even to New York City, proving dance is about individuality and standing out.
Yeah, a lot of people think that because you're disabled, you can't do dance, or, you're meant to be in a care home or whatever. And I'm like, no, you can do whatever you put your mind to.
She performed at Telemiracle, film festivals, fashion runways to competition floors, challenging perceptions along the way. She recalls one memorable adjudication.
All you hear is the adjudicator just go, ah, when I went out on stage. And then by the end, she's like, I'm crying.
At the Dance World Cup, she didn't just show up, she showed off, taking home gold 3 times and making history as one of the only wheelchair dancers to qualify. And she qualified for Worlds again, heading to Quebec in July.
Oh, I'm thrilled for her. Sherry works so hard, and she is always at the studio.
Turgeon teaches here at this studio in Saskatoon, helping others with physical or other challenges find their groove.
She inspires kids who are watching her on stage and in class every day, that you can move and you can dance.
People are often curious when she dances, not just by the performance, but by the process behind it.
People just generally ask me, well, how do you do it? You're in a chair. And I said, you just adapt the movements.
For Turgeon, life isn't about sitting on the sidelines. It's about taking center stage and dancing to your own beat. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
After the break, Rider Rookie Camp gets underway in Saskatoon. We'll hear from some of the newcomers hoping to earn their spot in green and white. It's been a long winter, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders are back on the field, kicking off rookie camp in Saskatoon. Coming off a Grey Cup winning season, expectations from both fans and on the field are high. Keenan Sorokan has more on the return of the Roughriders.
The boys are back in town. The defending Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders kicked off training camp Wednesday with rookies taking to the field.
When you're off, you want it to come sooner, right? So now that we're out here, we're happy as ever. Players, staff, what a time.
More than 60 players are in Saskatoon for rookie training camp, which does include some exceptions like veteran quarterback Trevor Harris. Included in the crop of players are two Saskatchewan standouts in the Canada West Conference the last few years. Daniel Wiebe is looking to make the team after attending training camp last year before going on to break team records with the U of S Huskies as a Heck Crichton finalist.
That's exciting. I love to compete in every day's competition, so it's good to be back for sure. I still got a long ways to go for sure. Today I didn't really play as good as I would like to, so got to be better tomorrow and got to go to the film room.
Carson Sombach signed his pro contract on Monday after a successful 5 years with the U of R Rams. Coming from a tight-knit football family where he and his 3 brothers grew up around the game, there's no other jersey he'd rather be wearing.
I grew up watching, born and raised in Regina, so it's just cool to be out on that field, wearing the logo and being around all the guys, all the coaches. It's been a super cool experience so far.
Sombach's brother Jackson plays for the Calgary Stampeders and has helped prepare him for what to expect for the long days of preparing for a professional football season as the grind of training camp begins.
I haven't had to practice that long in a while, so yeah, I'm feeling a little bit, but I'm going to go hit treatment and I'll be 100% for tomorrow.
Rookie camp continues Thursday and Friday before main camp opens on Sunday. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A late signing for the Riders today as camp gets underway. Regina-born linebacker Ryder Varga.
Has room, cuts it back, but doesn't get in. Ryder Varga.
Varga was drafted by the BC Lions in 2022, spending 2 seasons there before signing with the Toronto Argonauts in 2025. Prior to his pro career, Varga played 5 seasons for the University of Regina Rams. Now the 27-year-old will join his hometown team on a 2-year deal. And as rookie camp gets underway, the Riders are looking at some changes in the receiver room this year, while there's still a starting spot on the offensive lineup for grabs.
Here comes Saskatchewan again. And that one to Emilus. 10, 5, touchdown.
The receiving corps will be led by 5th-year rider Samuel Emilus, named the Grey Cup's most outstanding Canadian after a 10-catch, 106-yard performance, as well as Keyshawn Johnson, last year's team-leading receiver with 1,159 yards. But with the departure of Dante Myers, Joe Robustelli, Sean Bain Jr., and Tommy Neild, the Riders will need players to step up. On the Canadian side, Kean Schaefer-Baker, hampered by injuries last year, will be looking to regain his 2022 form, where he had 960 receiving yards, while Dell Duncan Busby will get a second chance to grab a consistent starting spot. 2025 Canada West Player of the Year Daniel Wiebe looks to make the jump from university to the pros, while Deshaun Mims is fighting for more opportunities in his second season. This year's draft picks Dylan Gité and Shamar McBean will also be in the mix. As for American receivers, COC Mariner joined the team in October and has CFL experience with Ottawa in 2022. After that, there are 7 rookies with varying experience from NFL stints to straight out of college. The offensive line will be led by 2025 Most Outstanding Lineman winner Jamarcus Hardrick and All-CFL selection Canadian Logan Furland. Tackle Peyton Collins and guard Jacob Bramer also return, giving the Riders 4 of their 5 starters from last year's Grey Cup. The question remains of who takes the last starting spot. On the Canadian front, Zach Fry and Daniel Johnson have both started for the Riders before. Free agent Dylan Black, 2025 draft pick Eric Anderson, this year's 3rd-rounder Darius Bell, and 5th-rounder Jez Janvier will look to make a good impression at camp. As for Americans, Darius Washington played 4 games for the Riders last season, while 7 CFL rookies will be at camp, including Percy Lewis IV, who is listed at 380 pounds, the heaviest player in Rider history. The Montreal Canadiens opened their second round of the playoffs tonight as they take on the Sabres in Buffalo. The Canadiens beat Tampa Bay in the first round in a series that went the distance, including 4 overtimes in 7 games. The Sabres, meanwhile, snapped a 14-year playoff drought this season, eliminating the Boston Bruins in 6 games in round 1. The Canadiens and Sabres met 4 times this season and split the series, each team scoring 13 goals. So far, it's 4-2 Buffalo. Still ahead, Regina's Italian community welcomes the Italian ambassador to Canada.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast, and same story as before. We're going to get back into those double digits, and many areas reaching the seasonal, if not warmer than seasonal. Some areas still seeing cloudier conditions, but we will eventually see a lot more sunshine, especially as we head into the weekend. And this is what we've got coming up for tomorrow. And you can see along the west there, Lloydminster, 20 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Kindersley, 21 with a mix of sun and cloud. 19 for Outlook and cloudy, 18 for Watrous, mostly cloudy, but Meadow Lake seeing a mix of sun and cloud at 18 degrees, 17 and cloudy for Spiritwood. Melfort, 14 and cloudy. Wynyard, a mix of sun and cloud and 14 degrees. And Hudson Bay, mostly cloudy, 15 degrees. Closer to the southern border, similar temperatures. Some areas could see some scattered precipitation along the around the Rockland area. Rain and 15 expected. 21 and a mix of sun and cloud for Maple Creek. Leader, 22 and a mix of sun and cloud. Cloudy for Rosetown, 20 degrees. And 15 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, Broadview, Carlisle. Cloudier conditions for Cornack, 16 degrees. If we take a closer look at Hanley, where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel. Hanley is expecting to see mostly cloudy conditions tomorrow. 16 is the expected daytime high, with the winds up to 30 kilometers an hour.
WorkSafe Saskatchewan has a new strategic framework. WorkSafe says the new approach is meant to continue lowering workplace injuries and fatalities. It includes stronger return-to-work programs focused on recovery and long-term outcomes, and promoting mental health alongside physical safety.
We have developed something called learning collaboratives, where we bring employers together to focus on a very specific issue, whether it's challenges related to returning people to work or specific issues like ergonomics in manufacturing or psychological health and safety. Employers who are having similar issues, we're bringing experts into those groups, and we are working specifically with those employers to tackle those specific issues in those specific workplaces.
According to WorkSafe Saskatchewan, time loss injuries have decreased by 67% since it was founded in 2002. In 2025, 89% of Saskatchewan workplaces reported 0 injuries or fatalities. The Italian ambassador to Canada is in Saskatchewan this week. Ambassador of Italy to Canada, Alessandro Cataneo, and the Consul General visited Regina's Italian Club this afternoon to focus on boosting trade and industry ties with the province, as well as getting together with the local Italian community.
And I will take away all their stories, all their family stories. I'm very humbled to listen to the work that they've done to build the club and to keep it alive, to learn all the contributions that different families of the community have done during different times.
The pair will head to Saskatoon tomorrow. A $27 million expansion to a canola breeding center near Saskatoon will help Saskatchewan continue being a leader in canola crop science. BASF leaders from Canada, all over North America, and Germany broke ground at the site just outside the city. Once operational at the end of next year, researchers will have access to the latest technology when it comes to hybrid canola research. Right now, Canada contributes more than $43 billion of the world's $53 billion worth of canola, a market that's expected to grow to more than $72 billion by 2032. The expansion and upgrades to the Canola Breeding Center of Innovation are expected to keep in vigor hybrid canola as the leader for Canadian farmers. BASF says it will continue returning roughly 10% of its earnings back into research and development. Now, speaking of canola, it's time now to take a look at your farm markets. The street price for canola was down today to $679.53 per ton. The futures price also down currently to $743.50. As for wheat, Amber Durham staying steady today around the $278 mark. Red spring wheat was up a little bit to $293 per ton. Feed barley was consistent at or just over that $250 mark. Same with flax, no change there at $630. As for your money markets, TSX up about 414 points today to 33,981. The Dow Jones up 612 to 49,910. The Canadian dollar was down slightly today to 73.34 cents U.S. As we take a look at commodities, gold was up about 58 cents an ounce. West Texas Intermediate crude down to about $95 a barrel and $80.87 a barrel for Western Canadian Select. Gas prices per liter in Regina most commonly at $1.89.9. The lowest you'll see is $1.75.9.
The U.S. Distilled Spirits Council says exports fell almost 4% last year, and that's led to job losses in the industry. About 1,000 jobs were lost at American distilleries between September of 2024 and September of 2025. The council says spirit sales to Canada were down 63% in 2025. Some provinces pulled American products off shelves in response to Washington's tariffs, and now the EU is threatening to tariff liquor products from the U.S. this summer. Home sales in Montreal are down, but prices were up in April. The median price of a family home was up over 3% year over year, but sales are down 7% year over year, and experts say that's because of continued uncertainty about the economy. Loblaw reported a revenue of $14.7 billion for its latest quarter. Besides its grocery chain, Loblaw owns Shoppers Drug Mart, and drug retail sales were up over 4% in the quarter. Pharmacy and healthcare services were up closer to 7%. This quarter included revenue from PC Financial, but Loblaw is selling this part of the business to EQB. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight on CTV, we have an episode of MasterChef followed by a triple headliner of Big Bang Theory, as well as the Floor E-Talk, your local news at 11:30, of course, with Connor Chan, and national news at 11. Kind of went out of order there accidentally tonight.
We got excited about the Big Bang.
That's right, yeah. Well, our news team is always looking to bring you the best in local coverage across southern Saskatchewan, and CTV News Regina has received 6 nominations for the Radio Television Digital News Association Awards.
That's right. Congratulations to video journalist Mick Fable. He's up for Best VJ Video. That's where our reporters record their own video. He's also up for Excellence in Sports Reporting. Sierra D'Souza Butts is nominated in the Feature News category, and CTV News Regina also received nominations for Best TV Newscast, Overall Excellence in Digital, and Live Special Events for our coverage of the Rough Riders Grey Cup Parade. Regional winners will be announced in September, and just a big congratulations to our reporters because they do a great job out there.
They do a fantastic job, and thank you for watching as well.
Yeah, of course. And some Canadian music legends teaming up with an Ontario dairy to release a new flavor of ice cream. It's all for a good cause, and it comes with a memorable name.
Kawartha Dairy says it's partnering with the Tragically Hip to create its new flavor, the Tragically Chip.
Yes.
It's a mix of maple whiskey flavor ice cream with dark chocolate chunks and a cherry ripple. Ooh, that does sound good. The company notes it was founded in Bob Cajun, which of course is also the name of one of the Hip's beloved songs.
Oh.
The Tragically Chip goes on sale in June, with a portion of sales going to Breakfast Club of Canada. But as with any ice cream, Sabine, you shouldn't stand with this in hot weather for too long.
Thank you. You're correct.
Because then your ice cream would be melting. And man, you don't want to swim. It's a Hip song, Sabine. Come on. Have a good night.